I don't know what it is about this pandemic, and I think I said that to you before. It seems to have, I don't know, just made everyone so much nicer to each other. When it was my birthday last year, because they all stood outside the front door, my two grandsons and my two daughters and my son-in-law, and they sang happy birthday to me. Remember, they did. And it was lovely. Although I couldn't get hold, I wanted to obviously get hold of them and hug them, but I couldn't. And they did the same for Keith when it was his birthday. They all came and they were all shivering, weren't they? Shivering as well. But it was just so nice. And then when it was Vera Lynn's D-Day, my daughter came up with her car blaring the song "We'll Meet Again." So, and that was lovely, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I had a wig on, they all had wigs on, they were told by my daughter, you've got to have a wig on. And it just made the day a bit lighter. When we clapped on the Thursday for the NHS, I met all the neighbours, we did. We religiously went out on the Thursday, clapping, and we saw neighbours that we hadn't even seen, like, for a long time, even though they lived quite near to you. And particularly as it was a pandemic, because you weren't going out, so you didn't see them as much at all. And then on that Thursday it was great, and we were all clapping, and then we got to speak to one another from a distance, and neighbours were lovely. I mean, I miss my daughters and my grandsons. I was dying to give them a hug. And my daughter said as well, you know, "Oh Mum, I don't know if I miss giving you a hug." And I said, "Well, I miss giving you a hug, but we just have to touch elbows. That's all we can do." And then we missing our friends for coffee. We used to be on health walks. The other thing was, if you wanted a doctor's appointment, you couldn't get one. You just had to speak to somebody on the phone, and sometimes it wasn't your doctor. It was just, and I'm not saying they were all lovely, because they were very nice, but it's just so strange to explain your circumstances on a phone and then explaining where the pain is, and you know, it was just not right really, but we have to put up with these things. The other sad thing was our brother-in-law. He was in a care home with dementia, and his wife couldn't go and see him because of the pandemic. Now, I mean, I don't really think there's anything that could be improved on that, because it was too much of a risk, obviously. And I think now she gets a visit. She did get a visit, but it was between glass. And now she has a COVID test every time she goes and comes back, which is great. She's had her two vaccines, as we have. And yeah, but it was just sad, but we couldn't go and see him, you know. And I think by the time we ever do see him, he won't remember us. The funny thing we used to do when we used to have maybe just a little disagreement. And I mean, we were there 24/7, weren't we? You know, we were bound to fall out once.
We did well, really, didn't we? We didn't kill one another.
Yeah, I mean, and I used to just turn round, say, "Keith," and he'd say, "What?" And I used to go, and he'd do the same, and we were laughing then, weren't we?
Yeah.
You've got to, haven't you? Because I love his bones. Well, come on, Keith, say
I love
something.
you as well.
I think maybe there should have been more information, because you know, the information they gave you on the television, it was said very quickly, and it was over and it was done, and then people were saying, "What did they say? Is it that date or is it the other date?" You know, I'm all mixed up. I don't know what's happening. It goes without saying that you're seeing people in your own street, and you know them now. You can speak to them, say hello to them. How are you? Knock on somebody's door, like Pam, and say, "How are you, Pam? Here's some magazines for you." I think that has taken away. It has taken a lot, because I just think that people forget there's older people in the road, older than me and you, Keith. And you know, you don't think of that. again, you've got to be careful that you don't overstep the mark, and you know, just a little knock, a smile, a few magazines, a little bunch of flowers. I think that would help an awful lot of people. Definitely.